Welcome to part 7 of the tutorial series on how to create maps for UT2004. Today we're going to discuss the basics of buff pathing. Bots are, well, you probably played against them if you played the game for a while. But by default, the map doesn't auto-generate paths for the bots to use. So, a little backstory on how bots actually navigate a map. Bots make use of a actor called path nodes. There are also other um, actors that bots can use, but those will be covered in a advanced tutorial. For now, we just really explain the basics so you can have basic bots running around. So, for example, a bot is at point A on the map, and I want the bot to go to point B. That's a really bad B. Let's try that again. Sure. So I want the bot to go from A to B. By default, and that's not changeable at all. But if you, for example, have a player start here and a player start here, or like maybe around here, then the engine, if you build paths, say, hey, I can go in between these spaces, so a bot can go in between these spaces. So it will automatically create a sort of path towards it, implying the path node name. And they can be made one direction, so you can't go back or forward, but that's something that's discovered later on. It gets possible, but yeah, your map is not one big room. At least I hope not. Otherwise, it's pretty boring. So in theory, you can just do this. But for example, I have like a wall here, and then like a little alleyway here, and then that goes back up here, and then there or something. So how would you tell a bot to go from this to here? So what you want to do, and I'll show you this in a second, bots just need a way or a path to tell them where they can go. So the player start itself is something that a bot can navigate through. So a player start is a valid actor that a bot can use to, oh, I'll go through this path node towards my next objective. So let's add a path node here. So this line from the player start, the bot spawns here because bots spawn on player starts, um, and it goes to this path node, but then it can only go back and forwards and backwards. So we need to add more. So what you want to do is do not give the bot like too many choices, but do not also make it too little because otherwise the bot um, yeah, it doesn't will not play really well. So we need to add like a path node here because you can't add one here because there's a wall. So we'll add one here as well. Add one around here, 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 and then ideally you don't need one in here, but we'll just do it anyway. So let's draw, that's a different color. That one, that one, that one, and that one, and then it reaches its goal. And a bot can traverse this path now from A to B and from B to A. It can go both ways. So that's good. But what you don't want to do is, for example, um, you have point A, you have point B, um, but for example, there is a redeemer pickup here. If you played the game, you know what it is. If not, the redeemer is like a really big nuclear rocket. It's you actually want that thing basically. And a bot would also want it because a bot's main goal in life is to find interesting things and kill you with them, basically. So yeah, that's that's kind of the slogan that the bots use. um, so what you don't want to do is create a path. For example, you want the bot to be able to reach the redeemer, like and from previous um, things. Like if there's like a whole map around this, you would think, oh, you would go this, this, and then there. Possible, yeah. But if there is space here that you can use, for example, there's like a little corridor here. it would be faster to add like path nodes here, so the bot can traverse off the main course and just go to the redeemer faster. So what I tried to say with this is don't rely on like one central line, like split it up into multiple path nodes. So like add like one here, like instead of one big line, you should maybe like add one here or here. If there is a reason for a bot to like go off the beaten path, basically. So if there's like something here, it should go to or here, then add a path node to break away from the main line so it can go pick up stuff here or here instead of going from A to B and then from B to the pickup or from B to the ammo or something. So yeah, that's kind of the basics. Um, yeah, there's also different colors of path nodes or of paths, but I'll show you what they mean when we actually get into the editor. So I create this little basic map. It's pretty simple. It has 4 player starts, has a light and a wall or two. So before you start on working with bots, the first thing you want to do is go into View, right click on this little bar, View, and then Show Paths. You can also do it in any other window, but I suggest you do it in the live preview and in the top view because it can be handy. You will see there are blue lines. A blue line means it's a narrow path, and because the space from the wall is pretty narrow, so as you can see, it's not really that big. So what the engine does when it calculates them, it just I don't know how it does exactly, but there's like a collision check around it. So it's like, oh, is this really close to a wall? Then the path must be very narrow. But if, for example, if you move this, so like here, and then build everything, it turns green because there's a lot more space to move around in now. But I don't want that because I didn't set them up like that. So let's place them back roughly there and to the blue again. So you have a few colors, few types of colors. White is a very wide path with large NPCs can use. So like if your uh, AI is like in a tank or something else with onslaught or in assault mode, uh, they will most likely take this path. Green is a wide path with moderately large NPCs slash bots slash monsters whatever can use. Blue, as we discussed before, is pretty narrow. So like the smaller invasion AI, I think the pupa or something they're called, the little green spidery things will go over blue paths, but like the warlord or the gas bag or something like that will not because it's too small for it to go. Yeah, there's also purple that's used for lifts and teleporters. There's also light blue that's using a ladder, but don't think ladders are really a thing in this version, I think. But maybe we'll discuss that later on. Some yellow is a forced path. You can force AI to use a path regardless of the color the engine assigns to it. So, for example, I actually want all types of bots to take this path, regardless because if it's blue or not, then you can like force a path. Um, Red is a prohibited path. So if you don't want a bot to take these two or this line at all, you can prohibit it in a certain way. So if a bot will go from here to this one, it will not be able to go to this one. It has to find a new way around. Okay. So with that out of the way, yeah, let's actually start placing a few path nodes. So to place a path node, it's really simple. Right click on the surface and place a path node. And it's represented by this little green apple thing. So what I like to do is place one right in front of here. So what we discussed in the painting or in the drawing is what you don't want to do. Well, you can do it if you want, but try to see if it actually works for you. Is to add a path node like um, yeah, in the middle of the hallway, but you'll see what I mean with why it's not really a good idea. First of all, the path is not optimal because it's blue, because it gets pretty narrow. Um, and you will start to see a little spider web. We start to create a little spider web now. You can do this, it will work, but if there's like a pickup here, so let's add a pickup. Let's do a health charger on this side and do a shield charger on this side. Oh, that's a different one, I think. There you go. It's floating. So pickups also behave as navigation points. You'll see very soon. So let's place them both here. You can also build the paths on its own. So we'll just do that. And you will see the pickup points are also navigatable. But as you see, if a bot wants to go from the spawn to the pickup to grab the health, or the shield in this case, but it wants to go forward now to grab the health, it can't. Well, it can, but it has to take. So we'll just draw it out for you. The bot will go from spawning to the shield, back to the spawn point, and then towards this path node. So it takes the green line here. Then from the green line towards the blue line to this player start, and then from that player start to the health, and then so forth and so on. We can actually show you this. So if you build the lab, build the path, sorry, save your map and play it, you will see what I mean.
Play.
So you're all by yourself now. Um, one sec. Yeah. So to spawn in a bot, either go into spectate. That usually tends to work. So a bot will spawn now, and you will see it takes a very specific path around the map. But there's also some really helpful tools that you can use to debug bots. So if you open the console by tilde and then type in show AI, you will get it to see, you will read the mind of the bot basically. So you will see it's trying to, what it's doing now is finding enemies. Or it's trying to find enemies. It can't because there are none. And it wants, you can also see the move, where it's moving to, how long it thinks it takes to move. And now it's going for the shield. And now it's going toward the next player start. That one again, and now it goes back. So you can see it in first person as well. You see it takes a very specific path. The one that we discussed like 1 or 2 minutes ago. So let's add a little friend for him. Let's add one bot. And you'll see they're hyper focused on each other. Because these are like, by default, I think they're adept bots. They do not move around a lot. They just stand still and do whatever. So for example, if we quickly change that around, bot AI from average to godlike, and spectate, and
Play.
then add two bots by typing add bots to, you will see they move around a lot more. And if we do show AI now, you will see they make as much use of the play space as possible. You also notice that bots don't they deviate from the path, like they jump around and everything else. So they don't walk in straight lines basically, which is good. Otherwise, it would be very boring. So if bots will tend to dodge and strafe around on paths that I think are above green. So blue ones they might not even strafe at all because there's not enough space to strafe around. But blue, I mean green and above certainly will. Um, as you will see, the bot has some destinations in mind. The goal is to find health, but the health charger hasn't given it yet. Yeah, it's kind of hard to pin or to highlight where I'm talking, where I'm looking at, but yeah, just play around with this menu open or with these debug options open, and you will slowly start to maybe understand what a bot is thinking, what it's trying to do, and so on and so forth. But yeah, to get the point home, which what I was trying to show you off, is there's no way for a bot to go from here to here now. So what you actually want to do is move this one back, like let's say like here maybe, and then do it also for the other one. Your goal basically is to get green paths if possible. So because that makes it the most compatible with anything. If you want to create an invasion map, then you surely want only green or white even, or onslaught and so on. But for like simple indoor deathmatch maps, it's fine if there's some blue ones, but it's ideal that you can have green. So I added two more path nodes to like each side of the hallway or the doorway, and you'll see the whole layout has changed. So a bot is now able to go from here, from the player start, to the health charger, and then from the health charger to this path node, and from that one to. So there's a lot more choice now that a bot can use. So ideally, what you want to do is maybe move this one slightly forward. Let's see if the path changes. Yeah, there we go. And since we moved it, as you can see, if we move back, it will only have one path. And if it's green and blue like this, then there are little arrows on it, as you maybe can see. Blue is towards, and well, the other one, the blue path towards the shield charger is narrow, but the return is wide enough. So what you actually want to do is make sure both of them are green. This one can be tricky sometimes. So you don't want them too far apart from each other. There we go. But you will notice a new line has also appeared. So a bot can skip this health shield charger if it wants and go straight from here to here instead. So yeah, but I don't think bots will usually don't do that because they want more options. So if a bot would go this path, then it can't go here. Excuse me. It can't go here. So it might take the shield charger route instead, so it can deviate from here to here or from here to here. So there's a little bit more choice. But if a bot is focused on an enemy, it usually tries to take the most direct path. So yeah, let's try to create a little bit more green paths. So that one is almost there, I think. There we go. And let's do the same for these ones. Almost there. There we go. Yeah, this one almost there as well. Almost. There we go. So everything is green besides those two player styles, but that's fine. If you want, you can change it, but yeah, it's fine. So let's build everything, save the level, and play again. And let's see how the bot behaves now. As you see before it was it had like a pretty noticeable path it took from the play spawn here to here, from here to here, from here to here. So if we load in a bot, it should not do that now again. And as you can see, it moves around more freely. It has a lot more choice. I might also add weapon pickups on the map will sort of act as a navigation point. So as you saw, um, my dropped gun allowed the bot to move away from the path a little bit. So if you show AI again, you'll see there's a lot more options that a bot can take if it wants. The red line is where it's focusing on, and the white line is where it's actually like on, and the green ones are where it wants to go. Um, Bots can stop midway, I believe. So if a bot is like halfway, it can decide like, oh, as you saw, it was thinking about getting the health again, I think. So yeah, so let's go back and let's slightly improve it because bots can't make choices in this area basically, so they have to take the path from here to here. Ideally, you also want some space here because they were pretty rigid to this line. So for example, let's like add like a path node here. Oh, let's add shield charger. And let's add one here in the corner as well. And then build everything again. So they have a lot more room to move around. But the thing you shouldn't forget to do is you see these open areas in the middle, and there's no sort of spider web pattern because yeah, you move from this point from the play start to here, but there's no a bot can't deviate, like make a choice in here basically. It has to go from here to here and then move on. You probably think, yeah, but that's fine, right? Yeah, sure, it's fine, but ideally you want to give a bot as much choices as possible, but within a certain limit. So you don't want to add like one here, and one here. That's not ideal. The only thing you should do is add one in the middle, so a bot has a little bit more choice of on what to do. So as you can see, the spider web has formed. Let's see. Let's move this one more to the middle. And you also start seeing some white paths because there's a lot of room. So what a bot can do now, if it spawns, it can go to the center and then decide if it wants to go to here or to here or to. You see, there's a lot more choice for a bot to actually do something compared to this one. Because yeah, there's no room in between. There's no navigation point slash path node in between for the bot to say like, hey, I actually want to go towards the health charger now. But to do that, I have to go to the shield charger first, and then from there on, I can go to the health charger. But if you add like a path node here, the bot has one extra option in between to say, hey, I can move between these things now. So yeah, play around with that. Like I said, don't add like 5 path nodes in this line thinking it will improve the bot skill. It certainly won't. But you don't want too little path nodes either, as I discussed before. You need to give a bot at least some choice to strategically move around. So let's build the map again. And let's see what the bot does now.
Play.
So as you will see, the bot is now more freely able to move around and make choices. So, but as you see, it went from the player start straight to the door almost, from like the center to the door, instead of going to the shield charger first and then deciding on where it wanted to go. So it has a lot more choice to do things now. So let's add a few bots. Yeah, the scale of the bot doesn't matter if they really utilize the paths really well. As you've seen before, godlike bots just spaz around the map and dodge jump and do everything else. But these, I think, adept bots, I think they're called still, are well, pretty decent. Well, bad, I guess, would say. Hey, but you saw that bot taking the path to the left. So yeah, they have a little bit more room to move around. Like the thing I'm trying to get at with that is oh, that's a nice screenshot though. um, if you want a bot to be able to like hide or take cover, a bot can't do that here basically. But if you have like a path node here, then a bot can hide here. Like if it's taking fire, it can decide, hey, wait, this is breaking line of sight with my enemy who is like right behind this wall. There's a path node here. I'll just stand behind this wall and then take some cover. But it's all because that path node is there. If it's not like so, the bot won't know that there's a wall. Yeah, it does know, but there's no way towards that wall. So you should also take that in mind. Um, but yeah, play around with the show AI command. See how your bots behave. Please do it on at least masterful or higher, because as you've seen on adept or novice, they're pretty bad. So they don't give a real representation of what they can do. Let's quickly see. Are there other things that I should talk about? Um, yeah, if an area isn't worth of any pickups or game objectives, like capture the flag or assault, then it should not be worth having on your map. Another thing you should not do is create one big room with all pickups um, uh, there available, because what a bot will do is sit in that room for the whole match. Because, like I said, a bot goals in life is find interesting things and kill you with them. But if there's like a redeemer, a super health charge, or super shield charge, there's some adrenaline and plenty of ammo in one room, a bot will just stay in that room because it keeps picking that stuff up, thinking, hey, this is some cool stuff. So it will never leave that room to find enemies. So you kind of don't want that either. So you want to split your pickups around the map, which is also nice for human players, so they don't camp that one room with the big gun in it, basically. Um, Let me see. Is there other things left to talk about? Um, Jump spots? No, that's something else. Yeah, one thing you can do, but that's something I'll discuss later on, I think. Yeah, that's something I'll discuss later. These are really the basics, basically. So yeah, a bot can move around. If there's a height difference, they will also be calculated. So for example, if I quickly add a base or geometry in the middle, so like a little box or something, give it a simple texture, I don't care. You'll see the editor is complaining because it's embedded. The path node is like into the geometry, which it can't be because, well, otherwise it wouldn't work. So let's raise it up slightly, and you will see the paths represent the change because the paths are now like slightly up. And if I play the map again, a bot will be able to jump on top of there.
Play.
Maybe it will, maybe it won't. No, it found some pickups. Yeah, there you go. If you want to do like make jumps do specific jumps that players can, there are ways to do that, but that will be covered in a advanced tutorial. These are just really the basics of how bots behave, what you need to do to make them play at all. Um, yeah, so yeah, to summarize the whole thing, um, yeah, bots work on path nodes. You create a network of paths, basically. Um, Paths can have a height difference until a certain point, so don't go too steep, or you can use special actors later on to mitigate that problem that you might have. Um, don't give a bot too much choice, so don't think like add like 20 million path nodes to your map to make them think, oh, oh, a bot has so many choices now it must play amazingly. No, it won't. Trust me. You're just only increasing your time to actually compile the map because of the amount of path nodes it needs to calculate. Um, yeah, like even try adding some path nodes to like areas of your map that you don't think bots will need them, but like bots can use this space as well, but they won't because there's not like a path node here. So try experimenting and moving existing path nodes around to like create a better network. As you see, I just moved one or two around, added a new one, and then the network changed. So yeah. So ideally, you want these ones to also line up, but what the engine does for you, because it says this path is shorter from here to here than from here to here. So if you move this one back enough, I think then eventually it should say, hey, this path is noticeably shorter. So if I do this, then obviously it's going to be say like, hey, that's short enough. But if you start moving it away again, then it will say this path to here is shorter than from here to here. So the engine will not um, uh, create paths for you because there's a straight line, basically. If there's another path not around, so this one, and it's noticeably shorter, the engine will say, hey, here from here is shorter than from here to here, basically. So yeah, try playing around with it. Yeah, try to create like a web structure, like so. So a bot can have a lot more choice, especially in the middle. Don't forget to keep that in mind. So if you have like a long path between certain objectives or certain pickups on your map, try adding a path node in between them. So so a bot can have more choices when it's like halfway there. So it sees maybe like an enemy, like oh, there's an enemy around. So I'll move back to get into a better position instead of moving to the pickup first and then go back to where it wants to go. So yeah, um, I will include a link in the description about a certain website that has some great tutorials on how to improve your bots. It's pretty advanced though, so but you should have now a decent understanding on how they work, and that kind of tutorial that I will link in the description will go into a little bit more detail. But I will also cover most of these topics in my advanced tutorial as well. So stay tuned for that as well. And one thing to keep in mind, if you finally release your map, you should type in the console down here. There's a little console. Paths, space, undefine, define, and then hit enter. You will see everything gets removed. Build your map again, and then save it, and then release it. What paths undefined does is it removes all old data. So the more you rebuild your map, the more it stores all path data as well until a certain point, I believe. But if you throw that away at the end and then do one rebuild, then you only have one um, piece of data left. So that's the latest version that should only be released, basically. It's not a must, but it's nice to do basically. It's nice to have. So that will do it for this tutorial. I hope you learned something from it. And in the next tutorial, I believe about, we're gonna talk about assets. So how to import your own textures, how to import your own models, sounds, and so on and so on. Because we've been staring at this grid pattern long enough now. So hope to see you guys there.